People say he's got a booger problem, but he's got no problem picking boogers at all. Ron DeSantis is, I don't know. I don't know how to finish that sentence, to be frank with you. But Trump decided to publicly humiliate him and publicly push back against and slap down something that DeSantis wanted. And any of this sort of Republican infighting, yummy in my tummy. Because our hope is, coming to the midterms, which is the election that relates to the thing that I'm going to tell you about, that this could pull apart a little bit the electoral initiatives of the Republican Party. But I before we get to that, because the clip that I'm going to play for you where DeSantis responds to the fact that Byron Donalds was endorsed for his run for governor, as reportedly DeSantis wants his wife to run for governor of Florida. And he was endorsed, Byron, that was, by Trump. And then, DeSantis, bobbling as ever, says, no, I don't think Byron's done enough for Florida. So I'll show all that to you. But what I caught at the beginning of the clip we're going to look at is more of DeSantis's adventures with his face and nose. And there's sort of a long story here throughout the campaign that contributed to the PR problems, where he was often found aggressively wiping, scratching his face, rubbing his nose, sometimes rubbing his nose, then putting something in his mouth, and then rubbing a constituent's shirt. He would rub his own, I don't want to say it, but I can feel it's coming out, his own juices on people. Look at this. So this is him after wiping his nose, rubbing it on someone. I feel like humans throughout time have killed one another. Humans throughout time have been disrespectful to each other. Humans throughout time have struggled so much, but one thing we got really good at is not rubbing boogies on each other. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a one bridge too far. And just one other example of the imagery that often came along with him. What became his habit was rubbing his nose then his mouth. Nah, I would advise you against that, because even if nothing's coming out of the nose, it still looks like you're maybe like a little kid nom-nomming on your own self, in a sense. But here's the clip. So let me go through the background of the context, and then we'll play this. And there's a lot of substance there too. Of course, I'm being silly about the boogie stuff, but DeSantis reportedly wants his wife to run. He's kind of denying that, but he does. Casey DeSantis, and he is no longer going to be governor, obviously, term limited out, and he kind of wants to run for president. And the idea here is if he can get a DeSantis to be governor of Florida again, that maintains his legacy. It helps to continue the policies, and there's a DeSantis stronghold in Florida he wants to maintain. And if his wife is the governor, that's great. Well, then Byron Donalds, who's a Republican congressman, pretty new Republican congressman, maybe a sophomore congressman, and he's real pro-Trump, and he's interested in running for governor. So Trump comes out and posts on Truth Social, I'm all for Byron. I think he should be governor. That makes DeSantis unhappy. He's asked about Byron here, and after getting his nose and mouth and face situated, he answers the question.
Trump endorsed Byron Donalds in the 2026 governor's race. Do you also plan to endorse the congressman? And if not, who are you looking at and why?
My view is
okay.
My view is Donald Trump just got into office. I want these congressmen focused on enacting his agenda. They haven't done very much yet. They're not putting his executive orders into place. We'll see what they do on the spending. But we have such a narrow majority that to be trying to campaign other places and missing these votes, I think is not something that's advisable at all. And so the reality is we've achieved victories in Florida. We need to start achieving those victories up there. So I think people look at it and say, you got a guy like Byron, he just hasn't been a part of any of the victories that we've had here over the left over these last years. He's just not been a part of it. He's been in other states campaigning, doing that, and that's fine. But okay, well then deliver results up there. That's what I want to see. I want to see them delivering results for the people of Florida. We deliver it here all the time for the people of Florida, and that's what we need to be doing. And so, I've said I'm going to be, raising money. We're going to be looking to have somebody that's going to be able to continue and build off the success that we've had here in Florida. I think a lot of people think somehow the battle's been won and you don't have to worry about it. We could revert very quickly. That could happen, 100%. And so it really needs to be, okay, are you going to be somebody that's going to fight for people, especially when it's not easy? Have you been willing to get in and get involved in these big battles that we've had and have won over these many years? And if you're not willing to do that, then I think we are going to see this state revert. So I would not take anything for granted. I know people have been we've had hundreds of thousands.
I'm so bored. He talks so boringly. It's so, I don't even remember what he said. It's already out of my ears. I can't remember. Oh my gosh. Ron, you can't be president like this, okay? And there are more subtle ways to sort out your face situation. Okay, I do all the time. You're sort of, right? You do a little rub, all right? But he always grabs the nose, wipes the mouth, puts it on his cheek. That's iconic, okay? Listen, I really don't like Ron DeSantis, but someone who can publicly go nose, mouth, cheek, that person has confidence, all right? I don't know why that confidence doesn't come through in any other way with him, but that shows confidence. No, I'm kidding. So let's look at now with sort of Carrie Lake lighting here. Ron DeSantis was interviewed by Laura Ingraham, and this was only a few weeks ago, but he was going, I think frankly, Laura, the people love me so much that I get why they would want my wife in power, but I don't know if she's interested in that. And reportedly, it's pretty clear that they want this, but let's listen to his explanation.
It has to go up. Governor, before you go, I'm going to ask you about this NBC report about your wife, Casey, considering a run for governor in 2026. I was in Florida over the weekend. Was getting buzzed by calls about this. Governor, what can you tell us?
Well,
Okay, stop. Wait, everyone stop. This might be a terminally online sort of thing to say, but the thing that politicians do that maybe you watch a few times, it's fine, but once you watch it 100 times, it's so irritating. Where he knows that she's going to ask about this. A staffer probably set up this interview so she would ask about this. And then they do this whole, as the questions coming up, they go, oh my gosh. Well, Laura, stop. You're not surprised. You're not giggly. Well, watch this again with that in mind.
I was in Florida over the weekend. Was getting buzzed by calls about this. Governor, what can you tell us?
Well, people have been
well, Laura,
asking her to do this for so long and run for office. She's a force of nature. I think people look at it, they say, well, the governor won by 20 points.
Yeah, she's a force of nature, a natural disaster. What up?
Obviously, Casey would do better because she's so much better, but it's not something that she's seeking out. I think a lot of people are just concerned about the future of the state, but this is not anything new. People have been asking her to do this for a long time, but she's not seeking to do anything, but it's flattering that people are asking her to do it.
Have you talked to President Trump about this or any conversation at all about what he might think about this? Or?
No, I haven't. I mean, I know he thinks he respects the First Lady very much, and everybody does in Florida. I mean, she's done a remarkable job for the state. She's obviously a great wife and mother to three kids, and she has an inspirational story of overcoming cancer diagnosis, fighting through that, and coming out stronger on the other end. And, she's one of the rare political spouses. Even though I'm probably the most conservative governor in the country, she may even be more conservative than me.
I think so. I know Casey. I think she actually might be. She's just going to be.
Yikes.
Better governor than you, Governor. I mean, come on. Like, we know. You can't win. You have to compliment Casey and then compliment. It's the battle of the DeSantises. Sounded like a campaign commercial there, Governor. Your little spiel there. We appreciate it, Governor. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks. Oh my gosh. Listen, I never think about ascending to higher positions. We weren't thinking about that every single second for the last 15 years. That whole thing, I know you have to do it, but it's not something she's thinking about except for whenever we have meetings with big fundraisers and we ask if they would support it. But other than that, and all of our conversations at home and all of our campaign planning and the posters that we were working on last night, other than that, she never thinks about it. It's never on her mind. Never. And it's constant. Until the moment you announce, you have to act like it's silly that people are asking. Oh, Governor Newsom, would you run for president? Listen, I'm just focused on California. Okay. Politico reports Trump just blew up Ron DeSantis' succession plans. And so this is Trump intentionally. This is so intentional. He knows. Oh, he knows. And he's so petty. And so because DeSantis ran against him, he wants to embarrass him by shooting down the succession plans. But honestly, I think if Casey DeSantis ran, that would be an interesting match against a Trump-endorsed Byron Donalds. I think she honestly could win. As unfortunate as this is, DeSantis is pretty popular in Florida. Florida, get your together. Governor Ron DeSantis and First Lady Casey DeSantis had a message for donors and other important Republican backers over the last few weeks. Don't throw your support to Representative Byron Donalds because Casey DeSantis was seriously considering jumping into the 2026 race for governor. It's not something she's thinking about. That message was upended last Thursday night with a single social media post by President Donald Trump emphatically endorsing Donald. And Trump's decision may have also derailed an effort to preserve Governor DeSantis' conservative legacy ahead of another potential presidential run. Oh, no. But how do I say this? DeSantis, he really does excite a lot of conservatives. And what I mean is his policy agenda, it's been popular to them. I'm to be frank with you. But I don't know if the DeSantis that we have seen with his... I want a better term. I'm grasping. I'm searching in my head right now. I'm looking around. I'm thinking, please, God, give me a better word than the one I'm about to use. But his weirdness, I don't think his weirdness can be looked past. Republicans care a lot about imagery and his sort of DeSantis nature. I don't know. DeSantis trashes Byron Donalds, the New Republic reports, after surprise Trump endorsement. There's a growing feud among Florida Republicans. You just love to see it. You just love to see it because maybe this can tear them apart and provide an opening for a different type of politics in Florida. Vivek, speaking of Trump-endorsed candidates, Vivek Ramaswamy, he's back. You thought he left. He's back. And he's running for governor in Ohio. If MAGA gets their way in 2026, which I don't know if they will, because there's going to be a big backlash to the crazy stuff Trump, Doge, and Elon Musk are doing. But if they got their way, we could really have a nightmare lineup across the country.
I am honored to announce my candidacy to serve as the next governor of the state of Ohio. President Trump is reviving our conviction in America. We require a leader here at home who will revive our conviction in Ohio. And that is why today I am honored to announce that I am running to be the next governor of...
I thought he already announced that. Wait, was that the clip replay?
...a great state at the heart of the greatest nation known to mankind. The state where I was born and raised. The state where Apurva and I raise our two sons today. A
Thank you.
state whose best best days are still ahead. I am honored to announce my candidacy to serve as the next governor of the state.
I feel like I'm deja vu all over again. And that is why I am excited to announce that I am running for governor, which is why I am announcing that I'm running for governor to lead the state in this announcement for governor. Vivek 2026.
Of Ohio.
You weren't pointing at anyone. Stop. Oh gosh. This whole thing. Let's see. Here, go full screen, Jade. Let me see if I can do this. That's why I'm announcing that I'm running for host of the Luke Beasley Show. I love how they go, oh, you're here? Like as if they know that person. Oh, hey. And so the other thing that Trump does, he goes, he does this thank you thing with his mouth, but he doesn't actually say thank you. Vivek just did it there too. Here, show this, Jade. When he's standing, he goes, thank you. But there's a mic there, but you can't hear. It's mouthing the word thank you. It's all so similar to. Yeah, I nailed it. All right, I'm ready to run. Share your thoughts in the comments.